Okay, so I fixed this IF secondary of the discriminator. Fixed this one. This one took a little bit more experimenting because the capacitor value isn't the same as these ones over here that I did. This one likes 47 picofarad, so it took a bit of trial and error till I got that one. But it's working now. It's tuning good. It has a nice midpoint. You can tell it's happier. And right now I'm trying to do the IF alignment. So what I did was first I tuned to a blank spot on the dial and turn off the AFC. Also I disconnected the antenna because I figure if we're working on just the IF strip, it might help to keep some RF off of it from the front end or something. I don't really know. But next thing is to hook up to the mixer stage with our signal generator, and I think this is the mixer stage because these two over here, these two transistors, one of them I think is the RF amp and the other I think is the local oscillator for FM, and those two turn off when you switch to AM, so those are only there for FM. And this one here, it only turns on for AM, so I think that's the local oscillator for the AM, so therefore the first thing over here has to be the local oscillator because it shares the same one between the two. So I have it hooked up through a 33 picofarad capacitor, 10.7 megahertz on the signal generator, on modulated. If I turn it up you can hear it's there. But apparently for this method, when you use a voltmeter at the output, you gotta keep it on modulated. It's best to use it on modulated. So right now, all I'm going to do is just go through the cans and peak them. I have my multimeter hooked up to the output of the secondary of the discriminator circuit across this capacitor here. It seems like usually these have this capacitor here, and you can see like these two resistors and two capacitors in just about every tuner that I saw. So hook up across this capacitor. Have my I have it hooked up over here, but it's the same thing as having it hooked up over there. And yeah, I'll make sure the AFC is turned off and just start peaking for max output, I guess. See how this method works. So I'm just going to start turning this guy till I get the peak out of it. .96 seems to be the high point. Yeah, 96. Let me see if maybe turning the range down might help. .981 is the highest point. Okay, that seems to make it the happiest. Second IF. That makes it very happy. Going up quite a bit. Hmm. .391 seems to be the absolute highest. Or 390. So I'm just going to leave it there. And finally this one, which is the primary of the discriminator circuit. I was told to peek that one as well. Oops. Oh, that's making it even happier now. $7.89. $7.89, $7.90. Now I'm just being obsessive. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. And so yeah, that seems to be peaked at the max. First I let the receiver warm up for a while and sort of, get rid of any possible drift during warm up or whatever. And next thing would be to set this thing. So I think I gotta unhook my stuff here and find a strong station and try and tune it in the best that it can come in. And maybe we'll use a little, I don't know if you can see that signal strength meter to help us tune it in. Okay, so I just finished trying to tune this one, but it's not working out like I thought it would. It's sounding good, but basically while I was tweaking this, I was trying to use both my ears and the meter over here to sort of point me to the right direction. The thing is that in order for the station to sound good, when the station is sounding the best, the needle is pointing towards the right. So unless, I might have been wrong about this being the kind of meter where you want to center it, because when this thing's sounding the best, it's like all the way over here. So maybe this is just like a regular signal strength meter or something. But that little triangle in the middle is there, so I don't know. As you can see, and I also tried hooking up my multimeter to where the meter is hooked up to, because I thought maybe like I'm supposed to like get 0 volts to it or something. That's maybe the good sign. And like maybe 0 volts is right down the middle, and like when you've got either positive or negative voltage, it switches to the sides. But the thing is, when I turn it off, it resets all the way to the left as well. So if this was like centering, I would think maybe if it was off, it was supposed to go back to the center. So I'm not quite sure, and you can see if I try to do anything else. Let me turn up the volume here. Hope you can see that. If I start messing with it, see, that's where it sounds the best. It's all the way to the side. And if I detune, it loses strength. It points to the left. I mean, right now it's inverted, so keep that in mind when I'm saying right and left. That right there is when it sounds the best. So I'm not sure. And this, this doesn't zero out or anything. So this might just be like a regular, like a signal strength meter. Okay, so the other thing that tells me that this thing's actually tuned properly, and maybe that meter is just like a signal strength meter, is the way that it tunes in stations. And basically there's like this way, this, you can observe the way your tuner tunes in stations, and from that determine whether your discriminator circuitry is set up properly or not. And so apparently what you do is you just sort of, as you're tuning into the direction of the station you want to go to, so let's say in this example 88.9, so you're tuning towards the direction of the station, and the first thing you hear as you're coming into it is you get this peak at first, volume comes up and you start hearing it, but there's distortion. As you keep tuning in that direction, the volume goes away and you end up hitting like a null point where it's quiet. As you keep going in that direction still, volume starts picking up again, and this time you go sort of dead in the middle and it sounds really nice. Volume comes back up, no distortion, sounds nice and clear and everything is perfect. And it sounds good, and so you keep going in that direction still. Volume starts going away again. You hit another null point. Keep going in that direction. You hit another peak again. Volume starts going up, but again with distortion. And as you start going in that same direction, it finally starts going back out again, and finally fades away as you move away from the the station. So this is sort of like the pattern you hear as you tune through stations when the final stages are set up correctly, and that's what this thing is doing, and I'll try and demonstrate that. So I have you set up in front of the meter right there. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Just try and observe for that pattern. I'm going to be tuning into a couple of stations. Mostly you're able to observe it on strong stations. But yeah, the meter's there, and hopefully you can hear it through the speaker. Just try and observe for that pattern I was talking about, and just right now I'm going to tune into a station and watch what happens. So there that station starts to come in. Then it kind of fades out again. After that it comes back up.
La conciencia científica, humanista y cultural del Estado.
And it starts fading out again. And as I keep going, it comes back again, but it's with distortion. After that, I keep tuning, and it finally goes away. So I'm going to go in the opposite direction this time, and you can observe the pattern. So just try and pay attention for that pattern I was talking about. Tuning in now. Comes in but doesn't sound the best. Kind of quiet. Fades out. Comes back in.
Sigue el viaje del joven Colofrín mientras él comparte sus historias y música.
Keep tuning in the same direction. Fades out again. Finally another peak with distortion. After that, it just finally fades away. So it's not quite symmetrical. I noticed that the one side sounds a little bit stronger than, basically this peak here sounds a little bit better than this one over here. But it's definitely doing that thing where it's like three little, ups and downs there. Okay, so I ended up going with 39 picofarad here, because 33 was still too far in, 47 was too far out, and 39 ended up being the magic number there. So I tweaked about a little bit and I got it to sound a bit more symmetrical. Let me see if I can demonstrate. Here's the first instance of the station. Bit of distortion there. Then comes the null point. After that, it starts coming back in. That's at its peak there. Null point again. And then it reappears. And then it disappears. Then the next station follows. That's kind of a crowded area. They don't sound exactly the same on both sides. Those two peaks on the sides don't sound exactly the same, but they're about the same spacing or whatever, and the nulls are about the same spacing. So I'm just gonna leave it there. That's as good as I can get it.